If you're asking, why does everything feel so hard right now? Why does it feel like nothing makes sense anymore? You're not wrong. As we move together more deeply through a collective time of change, away from unsustainable disconnection toward a return to truth and unity, these questions are arising for a reason. Wherever you are in your awakening journey, life will continue to show you aspects of yourself you have forgotten, surrendered to others, and just plain ignored. The neglected parts of you are now screaming loudly to be seen, and at times it's painful. Part of finding clarity and surety in your next step means awakening from a slumber you didn't even know you were in, and being willing to look at the unconscious parts of yourself you haven't wanted to deal with. You're already out of your comfort zone, so why don't we all come together to help one another transform? This is not to say there won't be challenges, but when we offer a helping hand, there is no need for struggle. On the world stage, the unconscious parts of society we've ignored are being exposed so that we can say no thank you and be motivated to seek the path back to alignment with intended natural design and our higher purpose that's in alignment with higher intelligence. We do this with compassion, curiosity, and hearts wide open. We do this by lifting one another up and allowing another to lift us up when we falter. Are you ready to take leadership of your own life again? Saying I can do this by myself is something that we used to take pride in, and it's now a stumbling block. We are moving from separation to unity consciousness. You and I are one. There is no by myself any longer, and that's a good thing. It's no longer what's in it for me, it's what's in it for us. I'll tell you what's in it for us. A return to universal love, a return to our natural state of happiness and joy, and finally, the peace and freedom you've been seeking. And no limits or gatekeeping to your abundance. Are you ready? The invitation and choice point that you must make right now is self-responsibility. The world transforms when you do this. The most important thing you can do is become consciously aware of your life from day to day, moment by moment, instead of living on autopilot. When you are loving life because you love yourself, and when you don't, which means mind, body, and spirit are out of alignment with the highest and best version of yourself. In scientific terms, this means your physical and metaphysical self, which are one. The highest version of yourself is not pie in the sky somewhere in the future, somewhere in the cosmos. Your avatar master self that is fully aligned with universal intelligence, living your purpose, as love is available to you right now. The choice, become it. This means the more conscious you become, the more you see when you're out of alignment with all that you seek, so that you can course correct with the mastery tools and insights offered by this channel. And being out of alignment with your true self is extremely uncomfortable, as you well know. We are not talking about manifesting your material desires, which is more like treating a symptom when the true cause is not living in union with all that is. That's why nothing is working anymore. You are being forced out of your uncomfortable comfort zone. Love itself is expanding, and because you are made of and from love, so are you. The bottom line is, if you wish to love your life, then you have to love all of it, even the parts you've kept hidden, the parts that contain shame and guilt. The first step in taking self-responsibility is not rehashing buried shame and guilt. It's letting go of shame and guilt so you can fully step into your authentic self. Before we go any further, this space, this work exists because many of us reached a point where surface level tools stopped working, where motivation wasn't enough, where positive thinking couldn't touch the deeper ache. Quantum Me Nautilus was created as a living field for people who are ready to return to themselves gently, honestly, and without bypassing their humanity. This is not about fixing yourself. It's about remembering how to inhabit yourself again. If you feel resonance here, stay. Let the work meet you where you are. Just real humans learning how to live with presence, responsibility, and compassion together. Please visit thequantumynautilus.earth for your free soul blueprint. The link is down in the show notes and the very first comment. Let's talk about shame and guilt. All what we consider negative emotions serve you until they don't. They protect and preserve you until they don't, because you can handle it now. A good example from my personal experience is when I suffered from chronic low-grade depression from growing up in an abusive home. I had been living on my own since I was 18, and in my mid-20s, living across the country, still the low-grade depression and discomfort haunted me every waking moment. One night, I said to God, please just take this away from me. I'm ready for it to go away. And then I felt an unexpected, tiny surge of joy and appreciation in my body, just imagining being free from emotional pain. I let it go and didn't think about it. In other words, I didn't keep pleading every night. I just lived my life the best I could. But it was just a few months later, I woke up and it was as if a heavy, painful, weighted blanket had been lifted off my body. I walked out into the sunshine and felt free. The low-grade depression was gone. Today, we'd call that a quantum jump to a new timeline. The good news is that unlike time past where you had to process trauma for years on end, you have the power within you in that instant healing is now more easily accessible when you say yes to taking responsibility for your life on every level. Shame and guilt are not just about your regrets in life or things that happened to you. It can also be labels that were applied to you by others or even harshness toward yourself. It's any perceived trauma buried within. Knowing what I know now, here's what I do when facing any kind of challenge, not just shame or guilt. Let's do it together. If you'd like, pause this video and light a candle or get a hot beverage for warmth. Any small action making the body feel included grounds your intention. Are you ready to heal? You're going to shine the light of your avatar consciousness on whatever ails you. Today, it's guilt and shame. Sit and have a cup of tea with guilt and shame and acknowledge the emotions. Watch the flame of the candle dance if you've lit a candle. Let the emotions bubble up. As mentioned earlier, it's not necessary to rehash and relive the details of what's bothering you. In fact, the more you let go of the details, the more you feel your emotions unconditionally. Just letting them present and be accepted just as they are, the greater the transformation. Just allow. Breathe your way through the strongest emotions until the largest waves begin to subside. Take as long as you need. Let go of thoughts as they filter through. That's simply the ego looking for bits to hang on to. Now just sit in the void that begins to open, the empty container we try so hard to keep filled to the brim. The first time you see yourself as an empty vessel, you may feel weird or uncomfortable. It's okay. You've never spent time with yourself in this way before. This is where the magic is. Universal intelligence is present, and so are you. Now just be present. Ask yourself, is shame and guilt serving me, or am I ready to let it go? If ready to let it go, you might say out loud, shame and guilt, I release you. I'm ready to move on and heal. Say aloud anything else that's helpful for you, such as asking for forgiveness, saying I love you, and please and thank you. Welcome those aspects of yourself that were protecting you back into your conscious awareness with compassion and curiosity, for they got you to this point and served a purpose. Shame and guilt must be seen by you to be acknowledged so it can be healed and released. No matter what your challenge, every time you soften instead of react, every time you breathe instead of push, every time you sit silently within this spaciousness of your being and feel, you move into a different timeline. Is your sadness lifting? If it's still there, sit with it as long as necessary. I'll wait for you. Feel the joy welling up because the weight of your heavy blanket of sadness is lifted. Doesn't it feel wonderful? Aren't you so thankful? Now drop it. Let it go. Universal intelligence will fill in what you need. It comes to you. Congratulations for taking self-responsibility. So now we come to an invitation to live from this point going forward. Take a breath. Feel your body where you are. This is embodiment, not an escape from life, but a deeper arrival into it. This is self-responsibility. This is self-leadership. You don't have to fix yourself. You don't have to force change. You only have to notice moment by moment when you are present and when you've left yourself behind. Every time you return, gently, honestly, without judgment, you choose a different path, a cleaner conversation, a softer response, a truer decision, clarity. This is how lives change in the world along with it. Quietly, repeatedly, from the inside out. You are enough. And you don't have to do it all at once. Just once today is enough. This is the first step in a 3-part series on self-responsibility, the path to conscious creation. In part 2, we'll take this lived presence and learn what it means to take bodily responsibility. So presence is no longer just a transient state of mind, but something you can feel, trust, and stabilize in your physical life. Until then, be kind to yourself, stay with your body, and trust that every small return to yourself, every remembrance matters more than you know. Leave your questions down in the comments.